sometimes in our aquariums we have fish that we keep that require hiding places. It might be for breeding purposes, it might be for protection, whatever the case may be, we have fish that might need some additional shelter. Today I'm going to share with you what I've done in the past and something new that I've discovered that I'm really excited to share with you all about. Hey fish friends, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Zenzo from Tazawa Tanks. Now, as I shared, we often have fish in our aquariums that require hiding places. It might be a place that fish need to spawn in, some kind of cave or a hut, something like that. That might be shells like our shell dwellers, or it might be, larger cichlids that need to get away from other cichlids, or just like a catfish that likes to hide, plecos that like to hide. They often like to have places in the aquarium where they can take shelter. And just like in the wild where they would have, logs and rocks and plants, etc., we want to have something similar in our aquariums. Sometimes with certain fish, we need to have some additional places for the fish to hide, and we have to create something for them. Now, in the past, I've made videos talking about different ways of hiding or creating hides for fish. Here's an example of something that I've made before. This is just some ABS plastic pipe. I think this is 2 inches in diameter, or 2 inches, maybe a little bit larger. Quite large ABS pipe that I actually bonded together and made this kind of musical instrument. But anyway, this is something that you can put in the aquarium, and fish can go in and hide from other fish or from light or whatever they need to do. The problem with some of these is, like in this case, this one floats, so I have to weight it down with rocks, and then my big Oscars will sometimes move the rocks so I can kind of see it. But also, it's kind of an unsightly thing. It doesn't look very natural. One of the things that I really enjoy about my aquariums, and a lot of you have commented on, is the fact that they tend to look pretty natural as far as keeping, fish in a glass box in my house. Obviously, this is not nature, but I try to replicate it as much as possible. Now, a lot of you may be familiar with certain decorations that have been created to look like rock or wood that have hiding places in them. In fact, I made a video about some of those cichlid stones before. I'll put a link of it up here, where these rocks look very realistic. It looks like a real rock. It almost feels like a real rock. I think it's made of like ceramic or something like that. And once it's been in your aquarium for a while, you'll kind of get some algae and stuff like that, and it really blends in. So things like that are very, very useful because they create the kind of hides and caves that you want for your fish, but they also look really natural. The problem with a lot of those is they're not very big. So if you have a large pleco, a larger catfish, something that requires more space, those caves aren't going to work. Well, now there is something that is much larger. You can see here that this looks like a rock. If this were a real rock, I wouldn't be able to hold it like this with one hand. This probably weighs, I don't know, 2 pounds or something like that, 2 or 3 pounds. But it is hollow. It's made out of like some type of ceramic material. And there's a large cave in this hide. So not quite large enough for my hand to fit in there. I have very large hands. I could almost get my hand in there, but then I wouldn't be able to get it out. But I'm sure like my wife or something could easily put her whole hand in there. And this is something that's large enough for like a larger pleco to go into, different types of catfish that you might have that like to hide, other fish that might want to have like a cave or a hiding place. And this actually came from the same company that made those cichlid stones, Underwater Galleries. So Underwater Galleries is actually the sponsor of this video. So the owner of Underwater Galleries reached out to me. She had seen the video that I did on the stones last summer and wanted to share with me this new product that she developed, and wanted it to be available to all of you. So in fact, there is a discount for this product down below in the description. So all of you can get this on the website. These are made well, the company is based in the U.S. I'm not sure exactly where they're made, but they're designed here in the U.S. And there's actually a 7% discount for all of you that use the code down below. So anyway, this is something that I've been pretty impressed with. I've been playing with it for a couple of days. I've got another one upstairs, and I put it in my Oscar aquarium upstairs that has a large pleco. And as soon as I kind of moved things around, the pleco darted out of the wood that it was hiding in because I was moving stuff around in the aquarium, and went into this hide and kind of checked it out. So I do know that it is large enough for a pretty large pleco. That pleco is probably maybe 8 or 9 inches long. So it is quite large. It could fit larger fish, larger catfish, etc., a knife fish, or large loaches, things like that. So if you are looking for something that looks more like a rock and less like plastic ABS or something that's not as natural looking, this might be a good option for you. They are pretty inexpensive, I will share that with you. And shipping, I couldn't believe how they were packaged. I got 2 of these, so you can see that there's probably 5 or 6 inches here, maybe 10 to 12 inches across, maybe 14 inches front to back. And it was in a giant box. So each of these were in their own box. The box had styrofoam inside, and then the outside of the box was bubble wrapped, and then they were put in a larger box with other packing material. So maybe because they might be relatively fragile, like in shipping, because they are kind of a ceramic. But otherwise, very impressed with this product. So whatever you use in your aquarium to help your fish have hiding places, just know that it might be important. So if you want to use natural plants and wood and things like that, you definitely can do that, and I've done that in the past. And they do obviously look natural because it's real natural products. But making sure that you have in your aquarium places for some of your fish to hide if you find that they might be hiding in a corner, they might be getting picked on, or they might need it for breeding purposes. Whatever the case may be, some of your fish, or a lot of your fish, probably would really appreciate having some cover in your aquarium. Let me know down in the comments what you do in your aquariums as far as having hiding places for your fish. I'm always curious to see what people do, what other DIY things that they've done in the past. I've done like the drainage pipes and PVC pipes and all kinds of things. I've made weird contraptions, but it's always nice when something is ready-made for you that looks really good, and all you have to do is rinse it off, put it in the aquarium, and it's all done. That's all I had for now. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.